Guys, stay tuned, and I'm going to show you how to prepare your home for a listing to make it shine for your first day on the market.
You better get fired up.
Guys, what's going on? Happy Monday. We're here every single Monday with what's hot in the market, talking to you about the things that are going on in our market that are sizzling hot to make sure that you're educated, man. We want to make sure we get the most educated buyers and sellers out there. So we're here every single Monday at 11 o'clock. Today, we're going to talk about how to prepare your home to sell and to make sure that you are attracting as many buyers as possible so you can get as many offers as possible so you can work those offers against each other, getting into that multiple offer situation everybody wants, and it gets that price and the terms. Don't forget about the terms to improve, right? That's the goal. So there's a lot of stuff that your realtor is responsible for in the background. Taking the photos, making sure the verbiage looks good, feature sheets, negotiations, marketing, all kinds of great stuff. But there's some stuff that you as a seller need to do too. So today we're going to go through some of the biggest things, right? We're trying to get the broadest strokes here that, man, if you can focus on this list, you're going to be looking sharp for that first day on the market, all right? So the first thing is remove your big clunky furniture. A lot of times I walk in, and because of the layout of the home and what's comfortable for that particular homeowner, you've got a massive couch. It's usually some huge L-shaped couch. And then it's got a big old lazy boy, maybe even two of them on another end. And as soon as you walk in, you open the door and you got to stop because the flow of the house is stopped by this massive furniture. Now, I know, especially if you have kids, it's extremely inconvenient to take that furniture out. Where am I going to store it if it doesn't fit in the garage? I've got to get a storage unit, everything else. But guys, a storage unit might cost you a couple $100s a month. And the difference between a beautifully staged home and an average home that, my home right now is average. Your home is probably average when it comes to staging right now. So when you look at the difference in those, you're talking $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 on average. Is it worth it to pay a few $100s for storage and go through the inconvenience one weekend of moving that stuff out to get $5,000, $10,000, $15,000? The answer's up to you. For some people, no, they want convenience. They'll give up the $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. For others, they want the money. The answer is up to you, but I'll tell you 90, 95% of my clients want the money over the convenience. So I tell them, get the big clunky furniture out if you can. Make the home flow as easy as possible. I'm a big dude. I'm 260, 265. I'm 6'1". If I can come through easily without thinking, do I got to squeeze around this couch or between this chair? You're probably good to go, right? So get that big clunky furniture out of there. All right, next, clean off the majority of your stuff from your countertops. That includes your kitchen countertops and your bathroom countertops. Again, everything I'm about to tell you is going to be incredibly inconvenient, but you've got to choose between convenience and, man, I want that money. And the choice is completely up to you. But this video is for people who want the money. And if you want the money, I want you to go into your bathroom countertops. Now, when you're living there day to day, do what you want. But you need to be in a position where with 5-10 minutes notice, you can get the home to where it is you want it for showings. You don't want to let showings go. You don't want to deny them. You don't want to try to move them because a lot of times they won't move. They'll just not show up. So you want to be close, right? So to have a single thing of soap out and maybe a towel hanging, I think is fine in your bathroom. All the other stuff, put it in drawers. Put it in your drawers. When it comes to your kitchen, which is probably more challenging, you've got a toaster, you got a coffee maker, you got the little thing that holds all your utensils, you've got the paper towel holder, you got a million things on your countertops. Get rid of them. Get rid of those things, put them somewhere. Yeah, they're going to be underneath the sink, or they're in the pantry or wherever they are, and it's not quite as convenient. But it's way more convenient to count those dollar bills at closing than it is to have paper towels accessible in 3 seconds instead of 10, right? So just put them somewhere. Yeah, it's going to be a little inconvenient, but holy smokes, is your home going to look way better, right? All right, next. Touch-up paint for floorboards, walls, and doors is pretty typical. And along the edges primarily, right? Because people dogs run into, kids run into the edges of your walls. So go around with your paint and just touch it up. Almost always, if you've got kids and or pets, your floorboards are going to be grayish, blackish, whatever it is. Mine right here, you can't see it right now, but the edge of my door is black. Why? Because I will sit in here like a bonehead and I'll put my feet right up against the edge of this wall. I've touched it up with paint already, and when I sell, I'm going to have to touch it up again. So if you've got kids, pets, or a dumb husband, you might want to use a little touch-up paint, right? But check your doors. A lot of times people will bang into doors to push them open because they're carrying, a bed in, or they're carrying their groceries in, or they're carrying their laundry in, or whatever it is. And you'll bang something that'll leave a little smudge or a mark. Make sure you paint over that. Those little things go a long way, because it's the difference in your head between, oh, this is a used home, and oh my gosh, somebody lives here. This looks immaculate. This is beautiful. That difference in perception is massive when it comes to what that person's willing to offer in terms of price. All right. This is a simple one, but I see it all the time, and it looks like you're a hillbilly, man. You've got the gutter downspouts and they're laying along the side of your house, but they're not connected. You've already got them. You don't even have to pay for them. And in all honesty, downspouts are not expensive at all if you don't have them, but you've got the gutters up top. You need something that brings the water down and then out at an L shape away from your property. Those downspouts should be attached. If they're not, the inspector is going to say lacking downspouts. You're going to get a hit on your inspection. Why would you want that? So add them right away. It doesn't look like you're a doggone hillbilly, and it looks like you're prepared to sell a beautiful, well-maintained home. When it's laying on the ground, people just assume, myself included, man, if you can't take the time to grab your downspouts and connect them for 3 minutes, what else is going on in your home that I'm not seeing? That's kind of scary. You don't want people thinking those thoughts. You want people thinking, man, this is touched up. Everything's off the counters. It looks great. Downspouts are in. This looks good. That looks good. Everything looks good. I just assume these guys are doing great things that I can't see. I tell people that all the time. Just assume when it comes to maintaining the AC, maintaining the roof, maintaining the water heater, maintaining everything, the things you really can't see, just assume they're doing what they're doing with the things you can see, right? And that's pretty true. All right, next. So this one, if you got a power washer, just go and power wash your driveway, your siding, your fence, your pool area, your roof. Be careful with the roof. I would hire that out, because you can damage the granules. If you've got shingles up there, you don't want to do that. There's a specific type of chemical you do and do not want to use when it comes to a metal roof, so be careful with that. So that I'm probably going to hire out. Honestly, I'm probably going to hire the whole thing out. But just either hire it out or get yourself a power washer and clean it all up. I showed you before and after photos of every home. It could be $1 million home, a $2 million home. It doesn't matter. Every single person's driveway is grayish black, all of them, because you live there every single day. Most people, 97% of people, aren't power washing their driveways every single Saturday, right? So it's got a grayish, blackish hue to it, and it pulls away from photos. When you power wash that sucker, pow, it's like a bright white, or whatever color your driveway is, but it's bright and it looks dramatically different. That pop is going to show in your photos. It's going to attract more showings. And now when people show up and they just looked at 4 other homes, they're going to look at yours and be like, wow, these guys' siding looks great. It pops. It's loud. It's bright. Their driveway is clean. It's light. It's bright. The pool area is sharp. I love it. Oh my gosh, I can feel myself living in this home, versus just that average feeling of, oh, it looks like every other home, right? This market, especially if you're in a higher price point, it's a softening market. Okay. So if you're up to 450 with some asterisks, I'm not going to go into, you're probably not going to have that tough time of selling. But if you're at $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 or more in Port St. Lucie, that market right now has a year's worth of inventory, in some cases more. You need to stand out every single showing. You need to stand out. And power washing is such an affordable way to really set yourself apart from other people. All right. If you've got a pool, clean that sucker and make it shine. I come to I can't even say it, homes all the time where it's maybe a little dingy green, or it's not transparent. It's kind of cloudy, or there's a bunch of leaves in the bottom. Like, guys, you've got showings, you're on the market. And I understand it's a lot to keep up with. But again, I always use this example. When I sold my home in Washington, this was the craziest I ever was. When it came to selling a home, we had carpet, and the market was hot. It was a hot market. And every single showing, I think we had like 30 showings. I'm making that up, but it was roughly 30 showings over 2 days. Between every single showing, I was at a neighbor's home. I would go over, I would grab the vacuum, and I would vacuum, what do you call them? Carpet triangles into the carpet. Every single showing I did that. And then I'd scuttle back to my neighbor's house, and then a showing would come and it would leave, and I'd scuttle back, vacuum triangles. Why? Because I wanted to net the most. And man, I did. I did phenomenal. Well, the same is true with your pool. If your pool is perfectly clean, but it's got leaves in the bottom, little things are starting to enter those buyers' minds about, am I going to put an offer in or not? Am I comfortable or not? Am I presenting full price or not? And all of those things are subconscious. You want to subconsciously tell them that there's no other choice that's better. And this place is the bomb. It's immaculate. It's glowing. It's shining. This pool is beautiful. You want to make that pool look good. And that's probably the sexiest thing about a home that has a pool. It's the most attractive thing. Make it shine, man. Make it look good. You can hire a guy to come over for probably $100, $200 and just boom, make it sparkle. I'll tell you too, if you've got a really ugly pool, do not call your pool guy a week prior. You want to call maybe a month or two prior. For some of you guys, it's going to take a little while. It's going to take some chemicals. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some trial and error to get your pool where it needs to be to get that nice, bright, shiny blue that we all want. So give them some time on that. All right, next. For all my photo hoarders, and this really could apply to a lot of things, but I'm going to pick on photos right here. You want to get rid of 90 to 100% of your personal photos, right? You want them mentally starting to think about their family living in this home, and it's their property. Not, oh my gosh, I'm looking at these people's property, the people who are plastered over all the walls and on every single countertop in the house. You want to get rid of that thought, right? So to do that, remove your photos, put them in storage. You're going to pack them up anyway, right? You're moving. Pack them up early, get them out of there. The one thing I'll tell people, and there's an exception to this too, is, anything on a table or a countertop, get rid of it. If it's hanging on nails, I don't know that I want nail holes exposed, right? So those are the ones I might leave up. The exception to that is if you've got one of those magical walls that, every 83-year-old grandmother has, where you've got literally 73 of them posted. Okay, those we should probably take down, and then we can take the nail holes out. We can paint it, whatever we got to do, but it's a little too much. Not to mention if they're older photos, right? If these are photos from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, a lot of those photos look dated. Because they look dated, it makes your home feel dated. You can have a brand new construction home, and with dated photos, your home will look dated. With dated furniture, your home will look dated. So you want to get as much dated stuff out of there so your home can actually shine and it can look as new as possible, right? All right, power clean your home interior. Now here, I'm not talking about the power washer. I'm actually talking about just grabbing some guns and getting in there and putting some effort into cleaning it, right? If you don't want to clean it, hire somebody to clean it. I've got a gal who will clean. She does a phenomenal job. Anytime somebody doesn't want to do it, I say hire her. She charges maybe $300-$400, comes out for, I don't even know, 5, 6, 7 hours, and just cleans the crap out of your house, and it looks amazing, right? That is the number one thing. If you look at all the research that's done, the number one thing that when you put money into it, gets you the most money back is a cleaning. Clean the crap out of that house, man. You want it shining. Clean the windows. Clean the fan blades. Clean, take the actual lights down, clean them, and put them back. You ever go in? I do all the time. I go into a house and I think, oh, this is beautiful. And I look up and there's 4 dead flies laying in the bottom of the light and the fan. And I think, ew. And then you start to look at everything, right? So then you're looking at the air vent in the ceiling, and it's got little dust bunnies coming down, and there's a little spider web right there. And you're like, oh my gosh. So now this beautiful home that you probably pay top dollar for, you're starting to think, well, it's probably not maintained well. Is that true? Maybe, maybe not, but that's the perception. So you start to lose dollars because of this subconscious belief that people have looking at these little things. So clean the crap out of your house, man. Okay, here's a little bit longer one. Repair the items that you think most buyers are going to have a problem with. Okay, and I listed out a couple for you. A roof leak, do not put a listing on the market without fixing the roof leak. Okay, do not put it on there if the AC is not working. Don't put it on there if the carpet is tore up. I'll get people that say, well, we'll just offer them a credit. The problem with a credit is people won't even know that there's a credit. I can't tell you how many times I would bet you, if I put a home in the market and I get 10 showings scheduled, right? And right in the showing remarks on my listing, it says, here's exactly the website you go to here. And it's the website all of us use. Here's exactly where you go. Here's how you get in the house. Schedule it there and you'll be affirmed. Out of those 10, probably 3 or 4 will call me. Joe, I'd like to schedule a showing. How do I schedule a showing? That tells me they're not reading a thing. Probably 7 or 8 out of 10 will give me an offer, and it's missing the documents that I put on the MLS, and I stated in the remarks, I got to sneeze. excuse me, it'll say, please include these documents with your offer. And they're documents that have to be a part of the offer. It's not a negotiation. They have to be a part of it. It's like the seller's disclosures, the HOA disclosure, all those things. They won't be there. What does that tell me? It tells me agents are not reading the details in the listing. Well, if they're not reading the details, that means that they're not aware all of the time that you're offering a credit. So to me, you're losing a ton of buyers. You're not really gaining a lot. Just get it out of there and put in the cheapest possible flooring you can. Put in like a luxury vinyl tile, tends to be the one that you get the best ROI on. Depends on the house, but typically that's what I'm looking at. Carpet's a little cheaper, but you're not going to get the ROI on carpet that you are on an LVT. So put in some LVT in there and it'll look sharp. It'll cost you the least amount you'd have to pay typically for flooring, and you're going to get the most out of it. If you do not do that, that tore up carpet, that stained carpet, that smelly carpet, that wore carpet is going to lose you dollars. I promise you. Lights and outlets not working. These are usually pretty cheap to fix. I would say I'd have to see 20 or 30 of those issues before one is serious enough to where we've got, a 4-figure issue. Every outlet or light that's not working, 95% of lights not working. It's a light bulb. Just change a light bulb. I can't tell you how many times I go into a bathroom and they've got I call it the Hollywood. I don't know what it is, but the Hollywood lights where it's like 4 or 5 lights and they're bulbs and they screw in at a 90-degree angle. It just looks like what the actresses have when they're putting their makeup on in Hollywood. Well, in the movies, what do I know? But I can't tell you how many times there's 5 spots up there and only 4 bulbs. And they got an open socket. And I think, man, this looks like a turd because you didn't put a light bulb in there. That light bulb probably cost you 42 cents. Like, get a light bulb in there. So make sure that they're in there. Make sure all of these, I don't want to say little, I almost said little, but these things that you are not going to get around. A buyer's going to come for you. And so many people are like, well, we'll just give them a credit. You're missing out on 70, 80% of the buyer's agents who don't read the MLS. You're missing that sales point with them. So just be careful with that. And then the last thing I'm going to suggest here is getting a pre-listing inspection. What does that mean? It means you get the inspection instead of waiting for the buyers to do it. And there's really one negative and there's a ton of pluses. The one negative is you're paying for the inspection instead of them, right? And a typical inspection is going to cost you $300-$400. You're not paying for the wind mitigation. You're not paying for the 4-point inspection. All you're paying for is the base inspection. You're looking at it. And what we're doing is we're saying, okay, number one, we have 18 issues. How many of these issues are minor issues that we don't really need to worry about? And how many are issues that we feel most buyers are going to come back and have a problem with? Okay, we got 3 that are going to be a problem. Let's address those 3. In fact, because I'm going to be at Home Depot, I'll address another 5 for a total of 8. So now we've got 8 things that are fixed. The 3 that are most important are fixed. That's the biggest thing. I then, as a listing agent, can take your inspection. I can put it up on the MLS so that agents can see it. And then I can notate with your receipt what's been repaired. So it looks like we're not only we're giving you disclosures, right? Seller's disclosures, telling you every issue we've ever known, but now we're getting a third-party inspector, a big inspector. Don't get your cousin Vinny in there. And you can look them up and they got 372 5-star reviews. And you can see what they have found, which they found some stuff. So you can believe in the report. And now you can see that there were 18 issues. 3 were scary. The 3 were fixed, plus 5 more were fixed. And the attached receipts are with it. Wow, do I feel warm and cozy as a buyer? I feel great. And now the odds of that person coming in, that buyer coming in and not asking for an inspection goes up. And your ability, once you get that offer to actually close, goes up dramatically. It helps you a ton for the cost of $300-$400, right? On a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $700,000 deal, that's nothing. It's pennies. So absolutely do it. Guys, hopefully this was helpful. If you've got additional things that you think should be done in preparation before you put your home on the market, I'd love to see it in the comments. And if you have something that you think is hot in the market that you'd like more depth on, feel free to let me know in the comments or in a Facebook DM. And I'm happy to do a video every single Monday on what's hot at 11 o'clock. Guys, thanks for joining me and have a great rest of your week. Take care.